when people get together in large groups and decide they're going to make up their own laws, invent their own reality, and then project that invention on everybody else as existence. That's an abomination. It's a horrible crime against the gift of life to humanity. And so when human beings get into large groups and call them organizations, governments, things like that, that's when they become the hugest threats and abomination to the creation of the life that we can enjoy when we're living, faithfully and courageously and kindly. The mountain can exist without you, but you can't exist without the mountain. But you are capable of prolonging the existence of the mountain, understanding what's required for the oxygen and the water and the other things that come from the I want to say components, what's necessary, the matter and the interaction that's necessary to sustain life of sacrifice as we know it. Like I said, the mountain doesn't require you to exist, but your physical body requires the mountain to exist. Hawking with all those marbles on the floor of the human delusions of perfection at Oxford or Cambridge or whatever, who really righteously gives a fuck? Seriously, they're assholes. And what you perceive as the flaws, the mountains and the valleys and the crevices with the oceans to hold the water that becomes, is stored in the ocean as salt water and then becomes fresh water when it goes up into the sky and falls down into our rivers. Okay. They come down from our mountains where the ore attracts the stuff. So what you got to understand is what's necessitated for your existence has more, quote, imperfections and flaws and imperfections and stuff than any of your perfect little balls in Hawking's head on the floor that with the other egomaniacs discussing, whatever they discuss. I don't really care to know. No, ni la mía, no quiero saber. I don't care to know. I don't care to talk with most of them. I don't care to have conversations with most of them. Ever since they took me to Sierra Vista, Arizona, and they came and exposed themselves to me when I started working at the grocery store in 2008 and 9, ever since then, with their inability to be humble and submit to faith, and it's not compliance, it's a humble submission to faith and infinite glory. I've had enough. When we're living the Lord's Prayer, I can talk about how well the basketball team's doing, where, when, what, who, when, where, what, when, where, how, who, what, when, where, why. You were my guy. Where did it change? Tell me why. So I did my job, And when a man gets up and stands for the Lord's Prayer in this Orwellian society all by himself, and then gets treated because of the virtual presence by just about everyone he knows, like he's either crazy or a criminal or a pervert, that's when man, Orwell wasn't capable of correcting the bad brain activity of the scientific community that he feared so much. Well, because the main people he feared in his time were the people that ran the genocidal operations through cults called religions. Okay, same thing happened here with Ron with the cults called religions and stuff here. And they were as imperfect and selfish and aggressive as the people at Cambridge and Oxford and so forth, I was sitting there and I got kind of depressed. I was sitting there looking at it. I went to look and see if NYU's a private university. 51,000 students. 51,000 egomaniacs that fight like hell to get into that genocidal operation of economic conflict. And Chicago is almost as big too. It's like almost 100,000 murders in training. Teaching the military the best way to drop a bomb on the Tularosans, the Okinawans, and the Japanese. They're horrible people, right? Well, it needs to be done. You like Mussolini and discuss with the priest, well, who's the dredge of your society? Well, we'll kill them, and then we'll clean up your society, and then you'll have the great new world order. And it's horrible, and it hasn't stopped since Mussolini's time. It's gotten worse. They've just tried to paint it into the scientific method. You observe, question, form a hypothesis, and test. Hi, lab rat. How's it going? What are we going to do tonight, Brian? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. And with artificial general intelligence and quantum computing and needing a police force for their computing to avoid human manipulation, killing us all with a madman or woman or both, right? They had to invent quantum artificial general intelligence to outmaneuver any manipulation of selfish Henry von Frankenstein, stuff, or Victor von Frankenstein. How many times what is it, Henry Frankenstein, or is it Victor von Frankenstein, or is it Victor von Doom? I don't know. Which is Frankenstein's not even in. Dr. Frankenstein's not even in the Van Helsing movie. It's the guy is Dracula who takes. That's because he took him from wherever he was made in Germany and took him to Transylvania. Okay, I remember that because he's in the wagon with the. Okay, sorry. I just confused it. It's a variable if I know. But it's crazy people. Let me tell you something about crazy people. They can't live faithfully. It's plain and simple. Supersonic. They are supersonic. I'm light-skinned and devastated. You funny, I know. But no, I don't have that on my MP3. I just wasn't really fond of it. I did have a crush on a couple of girls. Yeah, I had a crush on the girls, and they were cute, But no, yeah. No, they wouldn't have eaten me alive. They wouldn't have been able to handle a relationship with me. Past, present, future operate at the same time. One of the most beautiful men in the world, and they're gonna hunt you down and try to kill you and then eradicate you from the face of the planet so they could be gods in their heads, like being the merciless. Right, with the planet that's moving that doesn't exist and bad thinking, and Zarkov will get us home. No, he won't. Why? Because home is reality. It's faith based on reality. Okay? And Zarkov doesn't have that, and neither does Flash Gordon nor Del Arden, no matter how much they try to have good moral values. Okay? We need the cat, Indiana, right? And it pissed all over anything and ran off, and I was okay with it. That cat left, and it didn't come back, and because we moved to it. Somebody else got it, found it, took it in, and it tore up and pissed all over its stuff. Okay. And maybe they had like a cat whisperer person, I don't know. Cat was, oh gosh, yeah. No, Amy could bring home animals. When she brought home animals, the Charlie was cute but dumb as hell, and just and she picked out Charlie, and then she picked out all the ones she picked out, they would just tear stuff up and were wild. She didn't pick out Yoshi. No, she wanted Yoshi. Yoshi didn't want anything to do with her. Yoshi hid in the back, and Amy goes, I want that one. And at first, when I moved Yoshi out of Northern Greens, Yoshi hated me because I moved her into the smaller apartment. Then I moved her into a nicer apartment and stuff. But it was always what Yoshi finally started realizing was, wait a minute. He's the one that came and got me out of Northern Greens and cleaned up. Then he's the one who moved me in the new apartment, then came and got it and cleaned it up and moved me to the next apartment. Then he came and did the same thing. Yeah, him. He's Peter Fabre. Not Amy, right? Yeah, so Amy, me and Yoshi got to be real close. And then Amy had to just keep getting more animals. She kept getting more animals. She didn't care for them. Peter Fabre did. She just got the animals. You ever seen the movie Nuts with Richard Dreyfuss and what's her name? The one that looks like my mom. Barbara Streisand, yeah, okay. Well, you'll figure it out. Oh, the military knows. Well, I've known for a while. She told me about it a lot and tried to arrange the same conditions to control me in Arizona, and told me it was going to ruin my life. And my wife is only ruined if I accept the selfishness of all the people studying me over the faith of eternal love through the what's it going on in here. So my life isn't ruined. My life is miserable because of selfish people, but it has nothing to do with me. Yeah, I'm not a selfish person. I don't try to beat Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump at pinochle and shit like that. I waste my time. At darts? Oh yeah, I'd kick both their asses at darts. Basketball, cornhole, yeah. Horseshoes, yeah. Punchy kick their ass at horseshoes too, yeah. How do you know they're not? I'm just joking around. I really don't care if Vladimir Putin is a virtuoso on the bassoon and the best horseshoe player in the history of Moscow. I seriously doubt if they play horseshoes. They don't listen to America, and he's probably not intelligent enough to appreciate Rachmaninoff. He just thinks he does. Yeah. In order to appreciate Rachmaninoff, you have to be a person that has the capacity for romance. Yeah, and he doesn't. He's a murderer. Murderers don't have capacity for romance. It doesn't stay in their minds. They just act like it so they can have sex with people that they want to have sex with. Trust me. Trust me. Guys, I was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and exposed to the scientific community of hell in Sierra Vista. Yeah, trust me. And they've been in a virtual presence in my life my whole life. Not to mention, they try to hunt down and kill the Messiah every chance they get. And every time they read a book, oh, it's in right. So I've been dealing with this crap for how long? Over 10,000 years. I've been dealing with people like Vladimir Putin and the people that run the Pentagon. Okay, so, you know, it's this whole thing like what I told you the first time I ever had a connection with Antoine LaVey and Michael Aquino, you know, where there are fates worse than death, like listening to you talk. And I wasn't doing it to be all macho and tough. I was just like, serious fuckingly? You're going to come with, I'm the devil, and we're the hoo-ha, we're the temple of Satan, hoo-ha. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen the movies. Okay. And there are fates worse than death. I like listening to you talk. No, there are no fates worse than death. That's not true. Because the gift of life is given to us by the glory of God. And when the gift of life for our temple, that is, you know, the temple for the soul, is terminated, okay, by selfishness, okay, there's no fate worse than that, death. Okay. Now, death, okay, they see death as a fate of, oh, it's horrible. It's like, that's why they clone themselves, because they got ego problems and they will listen to themselves talk. But the thing is when you physically die, and then people in your families and your relatives have, you know, and then there's a new temple and one child born to carry it, you still have to listen to Aquino and LaVey talk. Okay. If death isn't a, quote, bad fate, it's just life of sacrifice. It's Book of Malachi, continuing the love and the faith of Abraham and Sarah, right? And so you're just like, no, is it fate's worse than death? Yeah, death isn't, you know, being murdered, okay, is the worst fate possible. Okay. It's, you know, having this precious gift of life, of all this wonderful, you know, because we have this planet and all this. Okay, so when a selfish person murders somebody because of their selfishness, okay, there is no fate worse than, that's the worst thing you can do, is them having that trained monkey shoot Michelle in the back of the head. You know, we're not living the Lord's Prayer. One of the people that would help us do it the most in the whole world is no longer in a physical temple as a woman to help a man do what women and men do to protect children and grandchildren from perverts, right? So Antoine LaVey and Michael Aquino and John McCain and shitheads like that, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're a bunch of Nobel Prize winners. Okay? But you let those child molesters monitor everything in your house with Wi-Fi and tell you what to do with their technology because you accept their money. That's terrible, right? Okay, that's a fate worse than death. No, it's not, because as long as Michelle and Earl are alive to say, hey, here's what mom and dad do to live the kingdom of heaven on earth. If you kill Michelle and I have to sit here and I'm going, where's, Yelp? Is there a mother out there that will try to help me stand up so we can all live the Lord's Prayer? No, there's not. Shit, I'm doing this all by myself, right? And they're like, isn't that a fate worse? No, damn it, look, because when I die, and we're still not living the Lord's Prayer, no, you see what I'm saying? That's what happened for years. Jesus was Muhammad, Khadijah, Haley, Min, here we go again, right? And it's horrible. And then you got to start all over again, okay? And that's why Haley was so concerned and so worried, that little guy, he's going to be all by himself, I'm going to be passing away, Judah's going to be passing away. Okay. They killed Bob and Steve. The people in the East are taking the guys like Suzuki and Krishnamurti and anybody and Sun Yat-sen and plugging them in computers so he doesn't have a physical presence of a human being to listen to and talk to in his generation that's anything like him. It's the worst hell on earth ever imagined, right? But it's by using, murder through selfishness to, do you understand? Okay. Guys, how many of you want to be like the Krishna and the Buddha and Confucius and be plugged into a computer by a bunch of perverts in your family? Okay. Yeah, family. That are jealous of you because, you think you're so great. It's like, no, everybody thinks they're so great because they do great things through faithful love and kindness and courage of kindness. So there's a reason why everybody thinks Confucius and Buddha and Krishna and Muhammad and Christ. And, everybody thinks they're so great. Well, yeah, it makes sense because you're complete fucking assholes, right? So naturally, everybody's going to save us, save us, save us. Dr. Zartok, and Flash. Oh, he's a miracle, king of the impossible. They invent words. He's the unicorn, king of the dragons, king of philanthropy. And so, Earl, you're funny, I know. But I'm really tired today. But what I'm mostly tired of is just selfish, pathetic apathy, They have companies. Empathy, they can say they have empathy. They don't really have empathy and respect. Yeah, lots of companies say they have empathy. Okay. Empathy with rocks at Fort Knox, people will kill each other over. Okay, we do the math on that one. In memory of Robert Redford. Okay, do you understand? Hey, let's shoot each other up and kill each other. Let's pretend every time, every time. They had a movie on the other night. Oh, yeah, it was McConaughey. Right. A drug dealer hires a cop to kill his mom who's heavily insured, right? And then you guys are wondering why we have this Nancy Guthrie case on Fox News and C-SPAN and all over the news. And Entertainment Tonight, right? Could it be because of the bad thought processes of people watching a drug dealer hire a cop to kill his mother who's heavily insured? Okay. Bad brain activity begets bad brain activity, right? So if you're living the Lord's Prayer, somebody doesn't say, hey, I need money to go to Cancun. I'm a professional basketball player, right? Trust me, life's eternal, grace is infinite. Shaq and Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith know what assholes they are, and Ernie Johnson does too. That's why he spends his time taking disabled kids and laboring his ass off to take care of them, because he knows his economic addictions are the cause of their disabilities. Life being eternal, grace being infinite. There you go. Hey, tell me about philosophy one more fucking time with your what's in your wallet. Do it. Do it. I triple dog dare you. Stick your tongue to the pole, right? And so, you just got to understand. Sorry, I didn't say fudge. You're all Scott Farkas. You got yellow eyes, okay? Randy's only defense was slightly they're lifeless like a slug, right? And that's it. You guys, you're all Ralphie's little brother, right? Okay. So, but Earl, I've got this. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. And then people, they can take me and plug me into a computer too. I'm not wired like they are. They were prepared for it because they knew the focal point of correcting the technology was the attack on the one who's not plugged in, which is me. And so if the United States tries to take a baby like me and plug it in, the brain will just cease to function. It'll stop talking. It'll just literally, they'll try to keep it alive and it won't work. It won't do what it needs to do. The only reason the brains of the people in the East that they plugged in are doing it is to help me. And if I'm not alive to the world as a human being, as the only hope of the only man that's like Confucius and stuff, and then it'll just die, and then they won't be able to, and then everything will just not work right, and so you just be like, okay, freedom, Muhammad, Earl's not bad being part of a solar system or a star or a sun, providing photosynthesis for cantaloupe parties with Kate. It's it's all in how you look at it. If you were tortured by economists that made your brain go wacko on a Star Trek movie and you flew your pod into the sun to get away from the Enterprise, he's gone crazy. He's providing photosynthesis for that third star from the right that has cantaloupe parties for Kate, and she's cute. And here, boy, I'll get you another hot dog, right? Do you understand? It's all in part of how the soul gets to participate in heaven. It depends, So, as long as the soul celebrates life, through glory of God, how you do it is, I'm not God. I can't explain, but I do agree with Muhammad that, I know without the sun, I wouldn't have Katie Smiles and Emily Slobber Kisses and Crummy Cake I Love Yous and Noah Chuji Bear Kangaroosies and Natalie's I Love You Mama Luckies and Patrick's Chocolate Clip Cookies and Kringle Bells and stuff. And so, so might as well be walking on the sun. Without the sun, you wouldn't be walking. So, let's get some humility here and start loving one another and understanding that infinite glory is far greater than the sun, so you can't worship the sun. All righty then, but you can worship because infinite glory provides the sun for your photosynthesis. All right, pass the cantaloupe and strawberries. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, do you get it? Ambrosia, you and I been in love too long to worry about tomorrow. I don't know why that one came to, but I think my favorite is I have two. I got a biggest part of me and Holding On to Yesterday. Hold On to Yesterday. It's a drama queen song. It is. I love the violins, and it's a total drama queen song. So I probably like the biggest part of me a little bit better. Well, I'm getting tired of all the melodrama. Why do I keep doing this shit? Motherfuckers. Sunrise. There's a new sun rising. I can see a new horizon. Ain't no risk now of laying my love rain down on you, so we could wash away the past, so that we may start anew. That's a good tune. Yeah, make a list, baby, of the things I'll do for. No, don't make a list of the things I've already done for you. You don't even need to make a list. Just keep doing right, Paul Davis, and we'll be okay. Otherwise, just shut up. I don't want to fucking hear it. Okay. Well, vulgar intercourse is all that comes out of your mouth. I need more money to fuck. I need more money to feel important. I need to pay people money and technology to feel important. Only I didn't say fudge. I said the mother of all swear words. Okay, guys. I love you guys, all right? Peace out.